Good afternoon. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been able to send out one of these leadership training posts. We had some technical difficulties on the website. We were in contact with the web technicians, and they were able to work some things out over the past week and a half. So we're finally back on track, and wanted to talk with you about something. This past week, a very interesting thing happened. As you know, we had our baptism service this past Sunday morning, and it was a powerful time. We had 7 people get baptized, and it was such a meaningful service. 1 man and 6 women were baptized. Here's something that happened. I got done preaching my sermon, and I said a prayer, and all the people who were going to be baptized went into the room to get ready. As I got done with my prayer, I went back into the back room, and the worship team came up, and they sang a song. As they were getting done with their song, I took my shoes off and I was ready to go in the baptismal pool. And I look across the baptismal pool, and the door to the women's room is still closed. And I keep thinking, when are they going to open the door? When are they going to open the door? The song got done. I went down into the baptismal pool, and they still didn't open the door. So I looked out at the congregation and said, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get them. So I knocked on the door, and the door opened up, and Riley Hamilton came down, and we went right on with our service. And I didn't really know what happened until later on that night. June Stone told many of us what was going on in that room before the baptismal service. While they were all getting ready in that girl's room, Mary Purdue gathered all of them together in a circle, and they held hands, and they spent some time praying about what was going on. I had to interrupt the prayer meeting in order to go on with the service. I feel a little guilty about messing up the prayer time, but what a beautiful thing was going on. And here's what happened. As Riley came down for the baptism, she was in the water and I was baptizing her. When she got done, I look up, and there's the other 5 ladies ready to be baptized, standing in the doorway. They're all watching Riley. And there's June and there's Mary, all standing there. They're crowded in this little doorway, and they're so excited when Riley got baptized. And Riley came up, and she went out of the baptismal pool, and when she got out, they all started hugging her, and they all started telling her, oh, we're so proud of you, and cheering her on. And all of them were just having a party up there in that baptismal room. And after each one of those ladies came out of that baptismal pool, they all spent time cheering and celebrating with each other. You know what happened at the end of the service? Suzanne Cowan, who also got baptized last year with Andy and their 2 children. After the service, Suzanne Cowan came running down the church, ran up into the ladies' dressing room, and busted in on everybody and just told everybody how excited and beautiful she was, and they all started hugging and dancing and jumping around again. And I sat there when I heard that story and thought, what a beautiful picture of what it should be like for us as a church, gathering together, enjoying each other, celebrating with each other, loving each other, cheering each other on. One of the most powerful things that's been happening in our church in the past couple of years is the fact that we are learning more and more to be a family. One of the things that many people in our church notice is how much we're loving each other and living for each other more and more. People who come into our church and recognize how there's a sweet spirit in our church, and I'm so proud of it. I had a pastor friend a couple of weeks ago, about 3 months ago, who came and just dropped into one of our church services, and we went out to lunch 2 weeks after he came, and he said, Randy, I want to tell you something. Your church is incredibly kind, incredibly loving. Many of those people didn't know who in the world I was. I was simply a new person in church, and I had so many people come and greet me. Can I tell you one other thing that happened Sunday morning? Jerry and Wayne Manspow were baptized, and Jerry sent an email to me, and she told me about some friends that they invited to come to watch their baptism service. Their friends came, and this is what Jerry said. Jerry said, Emily and her family enjoyed the service and said that it was a good day, and I feel that they'll come back since they asked about next Sunday. I was so proud of our church family for the way they made our friends feel welcome. One of the most powerful things that our church can do is to learn more and more about living and loving each other together. The more we love, the more we live as friends, the more we reach out in Christian community and Christian fellowship, the more powerful our church will become, the more powerful our church will be in attracting others to come and to build on what God is doing. I want us to talk about building those spiritual friendships, building those intentional relationships together. I have a video that I want you to watch, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you it's a very packed video, and it's so packed with so much information that we're going to consider this video for the next couple of weeks. Watch this video and we'll talk about one element. I'll just pull out one idea from this for us to consider this week, and then we'll jump on some other ideas like next week. This video is by a man named Mac Lake. Listen to what he says about building spiritual friendships.